Hello, hello. This is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane. And we're on our third day of our sacral chakra sessions. And this one will be a nice flowy, fluidy type class. Being that the sacral chakra's element is water, and we're, about 70% or so, maybe a little bit more, made of water. So we really it's very easy to identify with water. And it's also, most of us, we enjoy water, whether it's just looking at water, being immersed in water. So there's something about water, being an embryo in water, in fluid. So this is actually a very, very powerful chakra. This second one that's just above, just below the navel. It incorporates the hips, it incorporates the glutes, it incorporates our sexual organs. It's one of those very powerful chakras that it helps us actually to, when it's balanced, it gives us this, when it is balanced, which we're working towards, we feel more creative, we feel more sensual, more sexual. We have a better understanding of ourselves. Our life, our days have more color, they're more vibrant, because we're experiencing pleasure. Now we know in reality that you're not going to feel pleasure all the time. That wouldn't actually be hard to feel pleasure if we didn't have the opposite. But when we do feel pleasure, many of us find it difficult to even give ourselves permission to enjoy it, because there's always things that have to be done that maybe are less pleasurable, the have-tos. Or or there's other people that are struggling, so you need to be there for them, and how dare I experience pleasure? The list can go on and on and on of how many times you've kind of shoved pleasure away because you didn't maybe feel like you deserve it, or you're being selfish. There's lots of things that can prevent us, or that we can do this to ourselves without even being conscious of it. But pleasure is what makes life is fun. It's joyful. And so eating things that make you happy, enjoying activities that make you happy, and and being creative in whatever way. When I'm saying creative, doesn't mean that it doesn't always relate to artwork or being an artist. It can be anything that you create. It's a problem solving. It's being different, stepping out of the box, doing something, bringing something interesting into the world. Because we are creative beings, we come from creation, and we are creative. So this practice will be the whole essence behind these 5 sessions, these 5 classes, is around creation, around our sensuality, our sexuality. But this one in particular is going to be concentrating on letting ourselves be more creative in this class, to express ourselves in a way that is not necessarily how I'm expressing myself, but how you want to express yourself. Let's take the first few moments to sit in our easy seat. And you'll find that the easy seat, when you first sit down, might not be very easy. It might be kind of clunky and uncomfortable. But as we complete the class and we wind back into this easy seat, you will probably notice a whole difference in how you feel. So just taking the first few moments to reconnect to the root chakra, which is the very first chakra, is that chakra that kind of helps us to connect to the earth. It gives us that grounding, the base that we need to continue to move on in our journey, move forward in our journey through our lives, through the chakras. So sitting up tall, feeling that lengthening of the spine, creating space for the breath to become that vehicle to help you move your the energy through the body. So let the breath flow in and flow out. So this might sound a little new wavy, hippie-esque, but it's very much, it's a reality that we're energy, we're made of energy. We can't see it, we feel very solid, but we are actually made of energy. Our energy created a shape that we see right now, that we touch right now. But once we move the energy around and kind of through using our breath and using movement, we can begin to feel different, feel more at peace, feel more excited, feel more joyful. So let's take 2 deep breaths in and out. Imagining the breath is following the line of your spine, inhaling. From the base of your spine all the way up to the crown of your head, and exhale. Let your eyes gently open, and if you happen to be sitting on something, just come off of it. And let's extend your legs forward. Allow the legs to open a little bit wider, about hip distance apart, and fold forward, stretching the legs out, the backs of the legs. We'll be doing a lot of hip work today. So we want to balance it out with some straight legs. So take a breath in and take a breath out. So the mantra for this practice is to let go and let be. So 2, let go, let be. So as you let go with the exhalation, let go of all the things you're carrying with you, the things you don't need to worry about. And let be is when there's things aren't weighing on you and you can just be here in the moment. So take a few breaths in and out, and then take an inhale, lift back up and bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug, just squeeze. And then open the legs as wide as the mat, and give yourself plenty of space between your feet and your bottom. Bring your hands behind your back, I don't care where the fingers are, and just let your knees knock to the right and then come to the left. So swaying to the right, swaying to the left. This is going to be about the rhythm that we will continue, this continuous flow, as if we're meandering down a river. I keep thinking of the Mississippi or something like that, where it's hot, it's a hot day, and you're just lying on that raft or lying in an inner tube, and you're allowing the river to take you down. You're not having to do anything. And that's what we're going to be doing, is an effortless effort. And then one more sway to the right, and we're going to stay on the right and come into what they call a figure 4, where the front and the back leg are both at a 90-degree angle. This is a modification of a pigeon. And walk your hands towards your right knee, so you're on a little bit of a diagonal. Let yourself settle down. Soften down and explore. This is where your creativity comes in. You do what you explore your own body's limitations and potential. So let yourself twist and maybe look behind you, come into that twist. Take your left hip bone and press it down. Let's take a few breaths here, take another breath in. And then as you breathe out, walk your hands back up towards that right knee and just place your right forearm flat on the ground, or keep it straight if you can't place the arm on the ground. Inhale your left arm up to the sky. Spread those fingers and then bring that hand back slightly. As you do this, push your left hip forward and let the breath flow. Inhale and then exhale. Then take a breath in, lift back up, using your left arm to lift back up. Take your right foot, that top foot, bring it towards your left thigh. Bring your left hand behind you and see if you can connect your foot and your left hand, that left leg, together. touch them. And then bring that left heel into your left bottom cheek. And you can play here as well. Explore the hip flexor. Maybe draw that left knee back a little bit. Maybe bring that right leg forward a little bit. Maybe pick it off the ground. Press forward and back. You decide. And open your left shoulder gently. Maybe and looking downward or upward. Breathing in. And as you breathe out, lower your left leg down. Release the hand from the foot. And then bring your right leg back in so that it's on top of your left thigh. And then place your left foot flat on the ground. So you're in this half of a cross-legged pose. Your left knee is pointing up. Your left foot is flat. You're pushing that left upper arm into that leg. Place coming onto the fingertips of that left hand. Right hand, sweep it back behind you. You're going into a gentle twist as you press into that left knee. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, twist. Looking towards that right shoulder, and letting that right shoulder relax down, breathing in and out. And then take an inhale and then exhale. Let's swing forward. Let's extend your legs again. Hip distance or maybe slightly wider. Take a breath in, reach your arms up, and exhale, forward fold. And let your breath flow in and out. You don't have to touch your feet here. I touch them because I can, but not everybody has that flexibility. And then let's take an inhale, and as you exhale, lift back up, slide the feet in, give yourself another hug. And then walk your feet out the width of your mat again, hands behind your back. Drop your knees to the right, the windshield wiper legs. Inhale over to the left. Exhale to the right. This time, let's stay to the left. Come into that figure 4 on this side. So 90-degree angle for both legs. Take your hands in front of that left knee on a little diagonal. And then explore the stretch. Explore the stretch not only in your hips, but also in your back, your middle back. Drop your head. Take a breath in. And take a breath out. And then take an inhale and then exhale. Walk your hands a little bit further, a little bit closer towards that left knee, and come onto that left forearm or straighten that arm and reach your right arm up to the sky. Reach it back. And as you do so, take your right hip joint and push it forward. Bring that right arm back, opening up that shoulder. And then take an inhale and lift back up. And take your left foot closer to your right thigh. Take your right hand and grab hold of that ankle or foot and bring that right heel into your right bottom cheek and open up that leg a little bit. Decide where you want to put your left hand and play here. Use this as your creative space to explore opening in the hip joint, opening in the shoulder, maybe rolling the shoulder back, maybe lifting the knee a little bit higher, maybe bringing your left leg forward. So just play. That's what this chakra is all about, is play. And then take an inhale, and as you exhale, lower your right knee down. Bring your left foot back in, touching that right thigh, and then take your right leg and place that right foot flat on the ground. Take your right arm inside that right leg. Come onto the fingertips, left hand behind your back. Take a breath in, pushing into that right arm and twisting. Lowering your left shoulder down. Breathing in and out. That should feel pretty nice on your spine, your hips. And then take an inhale and let's exhale. Let's extend your legs again. Come into a wider stance, maybe even as wide as the mat, and forward fold. So wider opening of the legs. And then take an inhale, and as you exhale, cross your ankles, come onto your hands and knees. And slide your feet back and let yourself settle into your child's pose. Keep the flow. It's a continuous flow. Take a breath in and lift up into your tabletop. Flow through your cow stretch. Exhale, round through the spine. Press back into that child's pose. Let's do a few of these. Inhale, just warming up our spine. Concentrating on the pelvis more than the stomach at this point, and pressing back. Then inhale, float through your cow. Let's come back into a tabletop with a neutral spine. Let's curl the toes under, press back into this extended child's where you feel like you're going to leap forward. And your hands are pushing forward as you draw your knees back, as if you're trying to rip the mat in two. Spreading the fingers. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, either stay there or join me in the downward dog. So whatever works for you. You might come into a downward dog and be able to hold it for a few breaths and then come back down into that extended child's. So from here, just bending and straightening the legs, playing here in any which way your body is in the mood to move. Maybe some circles with the hips. You might even want to be silent, be still. Keep the breath flowing, inhaling and exhaling. And then press the heels towards the ground, and then bring your left foot in towards your right foot. Inhale your right leg up to the sky. So some of us might be doing this from your hands and knees, and then step your right foot between your hands. Flatten out that back foot, and let's cartwheel our arms into warrior two. So make sure your front knee is in line, your front heel is in line with the middle of that back foot. Back foot is slightly turned, and let's take a breath in. Arms out to the sides, looking towards that middle finger. Exhaling, a slight movement here, as if you're on there's little ripples in the river. Take an inhale and straighten your front leg. And just bring your left arm behind your back. As if you're going to try and grab hold of something, or just place it on your back with the palm facing. So you can grab hold of clothing or just keep it on your back. And lean forward as trying to reach, and then finally finding a place on your leg other than the knee, or a block. You can use a block and peel open your left shoulder, opening it up so the shoulder's pointing upwards. If it's leaning down, then your hands slide up higher. And then take a breath in, keep the hand where it is, the left hand, and then either rebend your right leg or keep it straight and reach your right arm back. So you're folding over your back leg, reverse warrior. And breathe in. And then breathe out. And then bend your right leg. Bring your right arm forward and place your right arm on top of your right thigh. And as you do this, peel open your shoulder, left hand, push into your back with that hand. And then release that hand from your back and lift your left arm up to the sky. So as you push into that right arm, you're trying to create more space between the right side of your waist and your leg. So you don't want to flop down, you want to contract in any way or you want to feel yourself feel tall and strong, actually. Then take an inhale and exhale back into your warrior two, and then spin your left toes forward, lower your hands to the ground, step back, downward dog. So you can take a child's here, you can stay in your downward dog, or you can follow me through vinyasa, which is a plank. Your knees can drop down or stay up. Hinge forward, lower down onto your tummy. Squeeze the elbows in towards you, inhaling into your cobra. And then exhaling, lowering down. Slide the hands next to the chest. Press back into your downward dogs. Take a pause here, either in a downward dog or a child's pose, depending on the strength and your, how long you've been practicing, whatever, or the day, however, whatever you feel like. And then everybody back into the downward dog, unless you're doing this from your extended child's pose. Let's bring your right foot in towards your left leg. Inhale that left leg up to the sky. Step your left foot between your hands and flatten out that back foot. And as you lift up into your warrior two, I'm going to spin around so you can actually see me. So take a peek down so you can come up any which way that's easier for you. Come into this stance. You're on a tightrope. If you're on a tightrope, you'd have to have everything in line, or else you'll fall off. So from here, this is warrior two. Look towards your middle finger, take a breath in. And then straighten your front leg and lean over, reaching down. And you can use a block on the ground or come onto that left shin or the thigh. Reach your right arm up to the sky. This is called triangle. Bring your right arm behind your back. Just place it on your back with the palm facing backwards. Or you can slide it a little further down and grab hold of some clothing if you want to make it a little bit more challenging. Some of us can actually place the hand inside that left thigh and open up that right shoulder. And take an inhale, lift back up, keep your left knee straight, or you can bend it and sweep your left arm back. So we're without an arm. We're pretending we don't have a right arm, but we're still pushing that back into that arm. So we're creating we're creating openness in the right shoulder. Take an inhale and then exhale. Bend your left leg. Place your left forearm on that left thigh. Push into that left thigh. Create space between that left side of the waist and the leg and open up your right shoulder. Breathing in, pushing down into that leg as you open up that right shoulder, pressing into the back with that right hand. Take an inhale and then exhale. Straighten your left leg, slide your left leg down, and then release your right arm from your back. Lift it up to the sky. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, rebend your left knee, open your arms out to the sides, warrior two. And take a breath in, and as you breathe out, curl your back toes under, place your hands on the ground, come into your lunge, step back, downward dog. You can stay here or do vinyasa if you wish, or child's pose. So I will stay in a downward dog, but if you want to do a vinyasa, feel free to go through the plank, chaturanga, to cobra, upward dog, and then back into a downward dog. Breathing in and out. And wherever you might be, let's all meet back in our downward dogs. And let's look forward. Let's take a breath in, and as you breathe out, either float or walk to the front of the mat. I'm going to spin around, so we're at the front of my mat, forward fold. Let's take an inhale and let's exhale. Sweep your arms up to the sky. Let's bring the hands to your heart. So in the first session, we did a standing balance called a pigeon standing balance, where you put your right ankle on your left thigh and you sit in a chair, your left knee is bent. And then we added on to it. So we're going to do this again, and I'll show you what we're doing. So first, take your left foot, root it down, bend your left knee, and place your right ankle on that left thigh. If this is too much for you, doesn't work, just bring the right foot and cross it over in front of that left foot. Hands in front of your heart. You could always use a wall or a table to lean on. Now you can stay here. Other option is to come down and touch the ground, either the ground or 2 blocks. So this is a wonderful stretch for the hips, but also if your hands are down on the ground, you're going to feel it in your back as well. So from here, just follow me. We're going to slowly lift ourselves up. About halfway, you're going to grab onto your right leg with that right hand, left hand, and lift it up with you. So you can always take one hand and just hold onto a wall. And then take your right hand on that right ankle and place that right foot inside your left thigh, coming into a tree. And that tree doesn't have to be inside your left thigh. It can be down a little bit lower, below the ankle. Below the knee. Hands to heart, and reach the arms up. Squeeze your bottom cheeks. Powerful, powerful standing balance. And then bring your hands to your heart, and then lower that left leg down. Do a few little wiggles to flush out those legs and the hips. And then we're going to do the other side. So ground down with that right knee. Take your left ankle, and then bend your right knee. Take your left ankle on that right thigh, or cross it in front. Yeah? Hands to heart, a wall maybe. Maybe both hands in front of your heart, and lean down as if you're sitting down on a pretty high chair. And you can stay here. You don't have to go any further. If you can, you can touch the ground or touch blocks, or you can even place your hand on a table. You decide. Have fun with it. If it's not fun, then don't touch the ground. It becomes more of a dangerous situation. Now from here, take a breath in wherever you are. You're going to lift back up, and you don't have to do this, you can bring your leg with you. Lift that leg up. And then place your left leg inside your right thigh or down lower. And then take a pause here in your tree. Squeeze your bottom cheeks, lift your arms up. Breathe it. And then as you breathe out, hands to heart, lower the foot down, little circles. Shake it out, flush it out. And then let's inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. If you're not at the front of your mat, feel free, please come to the front of the mat. Forward fold. And then step back into your downward dog. Whew. If your heart isn't starting to speed up a little bit, come onto your right hip. I'm sure it is, because that standing balances are quite intense, especially when you've added multiple layers onto it. Lots of muscular work required to stand there on one leg. Inhale the arms forward, and let's lower ourselves down. See if you could go a little bit slower. Remember the river, meandering down the river. No rushing. You can't make it go faster unless you had an oar, but you don't have one. Reach the arms back, stretch the legs away from the arms. Let's hug your knees into your chest. Let's let the knees drop to the left, turn your gaze to the right. If you've done too much twisting and you don't want to twist anymore, or too much, take the knees lower, because we have done quite a lot of twisting. It's interesting to bring your knees back up, give yourself a hug. It's interesting trying to talk and do the class. That's when you find yourself running out of steam or losing your breath. Let your knees drop to the right. Turn your gaze to the left. Should feel really nice. You've worked hard in 30 minutes. Pretty much every part of your body has been strengthened, stretched. Pick your knees back up, give yourself one more hug, and then extend your left leg to the left corner of the mat, right to the right.
And let yourself settle down into your Shavasana, your final resting pose. Allow everything to melt into the earth. Your bones, your skin, your muscles, the flesh on your face, as if your face is candle wax melting. Let everything go. Let the breath return to its natural rhythm. If you have to exhale a few times, do so. And then taking 2 to 5 minutes resting in your Shavasana. As I find my way up to seal our practice. For this session. So as we meander down the river, we've finally gotten to the end and we're resting. We didn't have to do much. There wasn't a lot of effort. Maybe there was in portions of it. But what a feeling of just relaxing and going at an even pace rather than having these spending your day speeding through the day, or going really too slow that you can barely move. There's this nice rhythm that you create. This might be a little slow for some of us, but then you speed it up a little bit, but try and create a natural rhythm for the whole day, as best as possible. Obviously, things get in the way, things happen. As I bring my hands in front of my heart to seal this practice for today, for this session, this third session of the sacral chakra, the element of water, the color orange. Feed yourself oranges today, any kind of roots, sweet potatoes, things that will help nourish this particular chakra. Your creativity, your sensuality, your sexuality. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you for being with me. Namaste. This is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane, and I'll see you soon.